Have you ever noticed that you or some other women can immediately draw attention and attract others, while some seem to go unnoticed? Have you ever wondered why? What makes a woman captivating without needing to be exceptionally beautiful or striking? Sometimes, it is not about appearance or clothing, but rather the small details, those seemingly insignificant things that actually make a difference. Men are more perceptive than you think. They notice much more than just outward beauty. Some women have a natural allure not because they try to impress, but because of how they express themselves in unguarded moments, the enthusiasm in their words, how they treat others, or the energy they bring into a room. However, most women do not realize how much men pay attention to these details. They might believe that the way they talk to a waiter, their tone in a conversation, or their confidence in their stride are minor aspects. But in reality, these elements create the strongest impressions. They not only influence attractiveness, but also impact connection and the ability to sustain a meaningful relationship. Today, we will explore 7 things men always notice about women, things that women often overlook, yet significantly shape how men perceive and evaluate them. And here, you don't need to like or subscribe, but if you find this content valuable, share your story or simply type number 9. Because sometimes, one small action can help someone find exactly what they need. Let's dive in. Number 1. How women treat others. One of the first things men notice about a woman is how she treats those around her. And not just him, but also people who can't offer her anything in return, like waiters, taxi drivers, cashiers, or even a stranger on the street. Imagine this. A woman is sweet and polite with someone she wants to impress, but as soon as she interacts with a server, her tone changes. She's rude, dismissive, or impatient. A man might not say anything, but trust me, he notices. And once he does, that impression sticks. On the other hand, a woman who treats everyone with kindness, regardless of who they are, stands out in a completely different way. A simple thank you, a warm smile, or just acknowledging someone's effort shows grace and emotional maturity. It's not about being perfect, it's about showing basic human decency. And men, they respect that. Men also pay attention to a woman's patience in everyday situations. Imagine she's at a cafe, and they get her order wrong. Does she politely correct it? Or does she snap at the barista? If someone accidentally bumps into her on the street, does she react with understanding or frustration? Small moments like these reveal a lot. Because here's the thing. If a woman loses her temper easily over minor inconveniences, a man will start wondering, what happens when it's me? What happens when I mess up? No one wants to be in a relationship where they feel like they have to walk on eggshells all the time. But let's flip it. A woman who handles these little moments with patience and understanding sends a completely different message. It tells a man she's emotionally stable, confident, and capable of handling bigger challenges in a relationship without unnecessary drama. More than that, how a woman treats others often reflects how she will treat her partner. If she's respectful and kind to strangers, chances are she will be the same way with the man she loves. If she's dismissive, entitled, or rude, well, that's a red flag. Attraction isn't just about looks. It's about energy, attitude, and presence. A woman's true character shines through in the little things. How she talks to people, how she reacts to stress, how she carries herself. And men, whether they say it out loud or not, are always paying attention. Number 2. Passion for life. Men notice how a woman engages with life. Not just what she does, but how she does it. Passion, enthusiasm, and curiosity create a magnetic pull that leaves a lasting impression. It's not about having specific hobbies or interests. It's about the energy she brings to the things she loves. Think about it. When a woman talks about something she truly enjoys, whether it's music, art, travel, or even her job, her face lights up, her eyes sparkle, and her voice carries excitement. That energy, it's contagious. It makes people around her feel alive. And men, they love that. Passion is attractive because it shows a woman is actively participating in her own life. She's not just going through the motions. She's fully present, engaged, and excited about the world around her. It signals purpose and self-awareness, qualities that make her stand out in a sea of passive, indifferent people. Now, let's flip it. Imagine someone who never seems excited about anything. She's always tired, unmotivated, or just uninterested in life. Conversations with her feel flat and uninspiring. A man might start wondering, if she's this disengaged now, what would a relationship with her feel like? Enthusiasm creates a bridge. It brings people together and makes moments more meaningful. Without it, interactions risk feeling dull and lifeless. But here's what makes passion so powerful. It inspires others. When a woman speaks passionately about something, it sparks something inside the man listening. It reminds him of his own interests, his own dreams, and the things that make him feel alive. Passion isn't just about personal enjoyment. It's about sharing that energy with the people around you. More than that, passion signals resilience and optimism. A woman who loves life despite its challenges shows that she chooses to focus on growth, joy, and opportunity. That's not just attractive, it's a sign of strength. So no, men don't need a woman to love the same things they do. But they do notice how she engages with the things that bring her joy. Because at the end of the day, a woman's enthusiasm doesn't just elevate her own life. It elevates the relationship too. And men, they pay attention to that. Number 3. Body language and posture. Men notice how a woman carries herself, long before she even speaks. Her body language, the way she moves, her posture. These things send signals about her confidence, energy, and emotional state. And whether she realizes it or not, those signals speak louder than words. Picture this. A woman walks into a room with her shoulders back, head high, and movements that feel natural and assured. She doesn't have to demand attention. It just naturally gravitates toward her. That quiet confidence. It's attractive. It tells the world, I know who I am, and I'm comfortable in my own skin. Now, imagine the opposite. A woman slouches, avoids eye contact, or looks tense and closed off. Even if she's dressed well, something feels off. It gives off a sense of insecurity, discomfort, or even disinterest. And men, they pick up on that. Not because they're judging, but because body language often reveals what's really going on inside. It's not about perfection. It's about alignment. When a woman's body language matches her confidence and energy, it creates an effortless presence. Simple things like standing tall, making eye contact, and moving with ease can make a huge difference. It's not about being flashy. It's about being present. And then there's the power of small, natural gestures. A genuine smile, a relaxed posture, open hands. These things communicate warmth and approachability. They make a man feel like she's someone he can connect with, someone who's emotionally open and engaged with the world. But on the flip side, rigid or defensive body language, crossed arms, tense shoulders, hesitant movements can signal discomfort, stress, or even emotional distance. Even if she's saying all the right words, her posture might be telling a different story. And guess what? Men notice that too. Here's the truth. Attraction starts before words are spoken. A woman's presence, her movement, her confidence. It sets the tone for how people perceive her. And men, even if they can't put it into words, are paying attention. So no, you don't have to be perfect. But standing tall, moving with confidence, and owning your space, that's a game changer. Number 4. Tone of voice. Men don't just listen to what a woman says. They listen to how she says it. Her tone, rhythm, and energy in a conversation can completely change the way she's perceived. It's not just about the words, it's about the feeling behind them. Think about it. A warm, calm, and engaging tone makes a man feel comfortable, understood, and even drawn in. It signals kindness, confidence, and emotional stability. On the other hand, a harsh, rushed, or dismissive tone can make even the nicest words feel cold or uninviting. Ever had someone say, I'm fine, but you could tell they definitely weren't? That's the power of tone. It reveals what's really going on beneath the surface. And men, even if they don't analyze it out loud, they feel it. A woman who speaks with warmth and presence creates an atmosphere of connection and ease. It's not about having a perfect voice. It's about speaking in a way that feels genuine. A voice that carries sincerity, a touch of curiosity, or even lightheartedness can make any interaction more enjoyable. But let's talk about the other side. A consistently negative, sharp, or impatient tone can leave a lasting impression, even if the words themselves are neutral. If her tone feels critical or dismissive, it can create distance instead of connection. Men pick up on it because tone is often an indicator of how someone handles emotions, stress, or disagreement. What stands out most? Authenticity. A forced, overly cheerful voice can feel just as off as one that sounds disengaged or monotone. Men notice when a woman's tone actually matches her emotions, when she's present in a conversation, rather than just going through the motions. And tone doesn't just affect him. It affects the entire dynamic of a relationship. A warm, balanced tone can make someone feel safe. A sharp or distant one can put up walls. It's a small detail that makes a huge difference. So, does a woman need to change her voice? No, but being mindful of her tone, especially in emotional moments, can make interactions feel more meaningful, connected, and real. And men, they notice. Number 5. How a woman takes care of herself. Men notice how a woman takes care of herself. And it's not about perfection or following beauty standards. It's about what self-care represents. When a woman puts effort into her well-being, it signals self-respect, confidence, and stability. And trust me, that's attractive. It's not just about looking good. It's about feeling good. A woman who takes care of herself physically, emotionally, and mentally carries a certain energy. She moves with confidence, radiates positivity, and approaches life with a sense of balance. And men, they pick up on that instantly. Think about it. When a woman prioritizes her health, it shows discipline and self-love. It doesn't mean she has to be at the gym every day or follow a strict routine. It simply means she values herself enough to take care of her body and mind. Whether it's eating well, staying active, getting enough sleep, or even dressing in a way that makes her feel her best, it all adds up. And self-care isn't just physical, it's emotional too. How does she handle stress? Does she set healthy boundaries? Is she kind to herself? A woman who practices emotional self-care is often more grounded and emotionally stable, which makes her presence feel safe and inviting. Now, let's talk about the opposite. If a woman neglects herself, always looks exhausted, or never makes time for things that bring her joy, it sends a different message. It might suggest she's overwhelmed, struggling, or not valuing herself enough. And while men aren't necessarily judging, they do notice. Because here's the truth. The way a woman treats herself often reflects how she will treat a relationship. A woman who values her own well-being is more likely to bring positive energy, emotional balance, and support into a partnership. She doesn't expect someone else to fix her. She's already working on herself. And that's attractive. Self-care isn't about being high maintenance. It's about showing up for yourself. When a woman makes time for her own needs, passions, and growth, she becomes more vibrant, more confident, and more present in her relationships. And men, they don't just see it, they feel it. Number 6, the ability to listen. Men notice when a woman truly listens, and it's one of the most powerful ways to create connection and trust. Listening isn't just about hearing words. It's about being present, engaged, and responsive. Think about it. Have you ever talked to someone who is just waiting for their turn to speak? Someone who nods but isn't really paying attention? It feels frustrating, right? Men feel the same way. They can tell when a woman is genuinely interested versus when she's just going through the motions. A woman who listens well does more than just hear. She responds with intention. She makes eye contact, asks thoughtful questions, and shows that she actually values what's being said. And this makes a man feel seen, respected, and understood. Now, let's flip it. Imagine a woman who constantly interrupts, looks at her phone mid-conversation, or dismisses what's being shared. Even if she doesn't mean to, it creates distance. Over time, a man might stop opening up, because why bother if he feels unheard? Listening is not about agreeing with everything. It's about creating a space where the other person feels safe to share. A woman who listens well shows emotional maturity and depth, and men notice that because it signals she values real communication. And here's something important. Men don't always express emotions the same way women do. Sometimes, they communicate through actions, subtle comments, or even silence. A woman who pays attention to these unspoken cues, who picks up on what's not being said, stands out. Great listening is also about how a woman reacts. If she immediately jumps in with solutions or criticisms, it can feel like she's dismissing the other person's experience. But if she listens with curiosity, patience, and empathy, it makes the conversation feel effortless and safe. Attraction isn't just about physical chemistry, it's about emotional connection. A woman who listens well isn't just attractive, she's memorable. She creates a space where a man feels comfortable enough to be himself. And that's rare. So yes, men notice how a woman listens. And the ones who truly value connection, they remember it. Number 7. The energy a woman brings. Men notice the energy a woman brings into a room, even if they can't always put it into words. It's not about being the loudest person or demanding attention. It's about the unspoken vibe she carries. Some women have a presence that feels warm, inviting, and uplifting. They don't need to do anything extravagant. Their energy naturally draws people in, whether it's through their kindness, optimism, or even just a sense of calm. They make others feel good just by being around. And men feel that. Now, think about the opposite. A woman who carries constant negativity, stress, or drama can be just as noticeable. If she always complains, criticizes, or seems emotionally drained, that energy spreads. Even if she's beautiful or intelligent, her presence might feel heavy or exhausting. Men don't always analyze it, but they react to it. They feel lighter around a woman with positive, easygoing energy. They feel drained around someone who brings tension or chaos. It's not about being fake or pretending to be happy all the time. It's about how she chooses to navigate life. A woman with good energy isn't necessarily hyper or bubbly. She's just genuinely engaged with the world. She laughs, she listens, she expresses herself freely. She doesn't let small inconveniences ruin her day, and she doesn't let negativity consume her. And here's something interesting. Energy is contagious. When a woman exudes confidence, joy, or even quiet strength, it makes a man want to match that energy. It inspires him to be better, to be more present, to enjoy life more. But when someone's energy feels consistently heavy, it does the opposite. It creates distance. Even if she's great in many ways, if her energy feels like a burden, a man might start pulling away without even realizing why. Attraction isn't just about looks or words. It's about how a woman makes a man feel when she's around. Does she make life feel more enjoyable, more peaceful, more exciting? Or does her energy bring unnecessary stress and negativity? Men might not say it out loud, but they always notice the energy a woman brings. And the ones who value real connection, they remember it. The energy you bring doesn't just affect how men perceive you. It impacts all your relationships, from friends and coworkers to family. That's why it's important to be intentional about the energy you carry. Having a positive mindset helps you approach life with more optimism. Bad days happen to everyone, but instead of dwelling on negativity, focus on solutions and the good things around you. Taking care of your mental and physical well-being makes a huge difference. Getting enough sleep, eating well, and staying active don't just make you feel better. They also help you radiate more positive energy to those around you. Protecting your peace is just as important. Limit time around negativity, whether it's certain people or stressful situations. Instead, surround yourself with things that bring you joy and a sense of calm. And don't underestimate the power of warmth. A genuine smile, a simple thank you, or truly listening to someone can make you a source of good energy wherever you go. At the end of the day, you may not control everything, but you can always control the energy you bring into the world. It's the little things that leave the deepest impressions. Men may not always say it, but they notice everything, from how a woman treats others, to the passion she brings into her life, to the energy she carries. These details don't just affect attraction. They shape how a man feels when he's around her. No one is perfect, and no one needs to change themselves to please others. But if a woman wants to build a meaningful and lasting connection, understanding how she impacts those around her is worth considering. A little awareness of behavior, attitude, and energy can completely transform the way a relationship unfolds. So, have you ever thought about these things? What do you believe makes a woman truly captivating? Share your thoughts or simply type number 9. Because sometimes one small action can help someone find exactly what they need. Let's move on to another story. Have you ever laid next to your partner and felt like you were miles apart? Have you ever wanted to say something but held back because, honestly, what's left to say? Marriage doesn't fall apart in a single moment. It fades over time, little by little, in ways that go unnoticed, until one day you wake up and realize the person who once meant everything now feels like a stranger. The real danger isn't the big fights. It's when the fights stop. When a woman, after 62 years of marriage, sits in silence and asks herself, "Am I truly happy?" And sometimes the answer isn't about falling out of love. It's about not feeling loved anymore. Most people don't see it coming. At first, it's just a conversation that never happens. Then, it's the quiet dinners where two people sit together but live in separate worlds. And over time, the warmth disappears, not in a dramatic way, but in the small, unnoticed moments. Love doesn't shatter. It simply fades, replaced by routine, obligation, and a life shared but no longer truly lived together. So why does this happen? Why do women who once gave their hearts to a marriage slowly withdraw? Not physically, but emotionally. What are the real reasons behind this quiet distance? And more importantly, can anything be done before love becomes just another memory? If any of this feels familiar, don't hesitate to share your thoughts, or simply type number 9. Because sometimes, one small action can help someone find exactly what they need. Number 1. The emotional burden becomes too heavy. Here's something most men don't realize. Being a wife isn't just about love. It's about being the planner, the organizer, the problem solver. It's remembering birthdays, scheduling doctor's appointments, keeping the household running smoothly. It's making sure everyone is taken care of. But the real question is, who takes care of her? When she was younger, she probably didn't think much about it. She loved her family. She loved her husband. And she did it all with devotion. But over time, something changed. Not because she stopped loving, but because she started feeling exhausted. She started realizing that for years, maybe decades, she's been carrying it all alone. And the hardest part, her husband might not even notice. She's not asking for grand gestures. She just wants to hear, "I see you. I appreciate everything you do." But if those words never come, if everything she's done is simply expected, never acknowledged, then one day, she stops trying. Not because she doesn't care anymore, but because she's tired of loving someone who never truly saw how much she gave. Number 2. The lack of meaningful communication. In the beginning, conversations were effortless. How was your day? What are you thinking about? Tell me about your dreams. There was curiosity, laughter, a deep desire to understand each other. But over time, the words started to fade. The conversations became routine, about dinner, bills, errands. Or worse, they disappeared completely. She still talks, but does he really listen? She shares her thoughts, her worries, her feelings, but instead of engagement, she's met with a distracted nod, a half-hearted response, or silence. And after years of this, something inside her shifts. She stops sharing, not because she has nothing left to say, but because she's tired of speaking to someone who isn't really there. What most men don't realize is that women don't just need companionship, they need connection. They want to be heard. They want to feel like their thoughts matter. And when that disappears, it's not just the words that are lost, it's the bond. And here's the heartbreaking truth. When a woman no longer feels seen, she stops trying to be noticed. When she no longer feels heard, she stops speaking. And when she stops speaking, love doesn't end in a loud explosion. It just fades, quietly, until one day, the man she once shared everything with becomes just a person she shares a house with. Number 3. The never-ending burden of housework. It starts small. A sink full of dishes, clothes left on the floor, a messy table after dinner. She picks up, she cleans, she organizes, because that's what she's always done. But as the years pass, something shifts. She starts to wonder, why am I still the only one doing this? For decades, she's been the invisible force keeping the household together. She didn't complain when the kids were young, when life was chaotic, when there was always something that needed to be done. But now, the children are grown, life has slowed down, and yet, she's still the one carrying the weight of it all. Her husband, he may not even notice. Maybe he assumes she doesn't mind, that she's just better at keeping things organized. Maybe he thinks, after all these years, this is just the way things are. But here's what he doesn't see. Every dish left in the sink, every task left for her to handle, isn't just about housework. It's a reminder that even after a lifetime together, she is still expected to do it all. And so, resentment builds, not because of the chores themselves, but because of what they represent. She doesn't want to feel like the housekeeper of her own home. She doesn't want to spend her later years picking up after a man who doesn't even realize the burden she's carrying. She doesn't need perfection. She doesn't need grand gestures. She just needs to feel like she's not in this alone. Because love isn't just about the big things. It's about the small, everyday choices. And when one person keeps doing all the work, while the other simply exists within the comfort of it, love starts to feel a lot like exhaustion. Number 4. She grows, but he doesn't. At some point she realizes she's not the same woman she was years ago. She's grown. She's changed. Her interests have expanded. Her outlook on life has evolved. She wants to explore, learn new things, meet new people. But her husband, he's exactly the same. Same routines, same mindset, same conversations. In the beginning, it didn't bother her. She was busy, raising kids, managing a home, keeping life together. But now, with more time to reflect, she starts to feel it. The gap between them, the difference in who they've become. She's moving forward, but he's standing still. And that's when it happens. She starts doing things on her own, not out of resentment, but out of necessity. She takes trips without him. She picks up new hobbies he has no interest in. She builds a life outside of their marriage, not because she wants to leave him behind, but because he refuses to move forward with her. He doesn't have to be perfect. He doesn't have to change everything overnight. But he has to show up. He has to grow with her, not just exist beside her. Because the truth is, love isn't just about staying together. It's about evolving together. And when one person outgrows the relationship while the other stays the same, the distance isn't just emotional. It becomes a reality. Number 5. The loss of physical and emotional intimacy. At first, it's subtle. The way he stops reaching for her hand. The way he kisses her goodbye without really noticing. The way their conversations feel more like updates than real connection. She tells herself it's just life, just routine. But deep down, she feels it. The distance. It's not just about physical intimacy. It's about the small moments, the lingering eye contact, the way he used to make her feel wanted, seen, desired. Over time, that spark fades. Not because they don't love each other, but because they stopped showing it. And here's the painful part. He may not even realize it's happening. He may assume everything is fine because they still live together, still share a life. But what he doesn't see is how much she misses feeling like more than just a wife, more than just a familiar presence in the house. She misses feeling wanted. She doesn't expect grand gestures. She doesn't need constant passion. But she does need to feel like she still matters to him in that way. Because love isn't just about companionship. It's about connection. And when a woman no longer feels that connection, she doesn't leave right away. She withdraws, little by little, until one day she's there, but her heart isn't. Number 6. Retirement changes everything, but not always for the better. Retirement. It's supposed to be the golden years, the time to relax, to enjoy life together. But for many couples, it's the beginning of something unexpected: frustration, boredom, even resentment. For years, they had a rhythm. He went to work. She managed the home or had her own responsibilities. There was space, balance. But then everything changes. Suddenly, he's home all the time. No schedule, no direction, no sense of purpose. And whether he realizes it or not, he starts relying on her to fill his time, to entertain him, to give his days meaning. At first, she tries. She plans things, makes suggestions, encourages him to pick up hobbies. But if he refuses to engage, if he simply settles into a routine of doing nothing. The next part of this video is now available on my channel.